We're following that story very closely. We'll be joined by the National Publicity Secretary of the SDP at the top of the hour to find out precisely what's happening within the SDP as we count down to 2027. Now, our Friday edition is a little bit interesting and unconventional. This week, we feature the weight loss and fitness industry in Nigeria. Once considered a luxury, fitness has become a booming sector driven by growing health awareness, increasing urbanization, and shifting lifestyle habits among Nigerians at home and abroad. So from Lagos to Abuja, more Nigerians are investing in their physical well-being, joining gyms, signing up for weight loss challenges, and indeed embracing personal coaching. But this growth has also come with its own complexities. Alongside certified fitness professionals, we've seen a surge in self-proclaimed experts on regulated wellness products and extreme dieting that promise rapid results but often leave people worse off physically and mentally. Today on Beyond the Headlines, we go beyond the hype and the hashtags to explore the real state of fitness in Nigeria and what it truly takes to achieve lasting transformation. Joining me is a certified nutrition and fitness coach, Bobby Uranta. I literally picked Bobby from the gym. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Guntore.
So you are one of those people tensioning us, you know. I mean, those of us who have pot belly and then, you know, they say that the expectation of ladies of men have changed rapidly in this generation.
It has.
All thanks to individuals like you. But what would you say is really fueling the current fitness and weight loss boom in Nigeria? Is it just a trend or people are really paying attention to their health these days?
I would say it started off as a trend because back then people only used to see it as something that was exclusive to the privileged. You know, so people saw the gym, people saw eating healthy as something that the regular Nigerian couldn't access. Indeed. You know, but right now with the advent of social media especially, and then I think people just becoming more knowledgeable. Now it's gone past that very limited mindset. Now people are embracing it as a means of livelihood. The only thing now is they're embracing it the wrong way, at least the vast majority of Nigerians.
How do you mean?
So the average Nigerian has this mindset of quick fix. Not to mention the environment doesn't exactly help. You know, the average Nigerian has to travel, you know, hours in traffic. You know, they have to spend time in a very exhausting lifestyle and work schedule. So when they come home, then they start applying these quick fixes. They embrace some type of tea, they embrace some type of slimming mechanism, you know, like the waist trainers they have now, you know, and then they think they have to eliminate all their carbs. You know, they think they have to starve themselves. So these are all extreme ways, you know, in which the average Nigerian, and that comes from lack of knowledge. You know, so they are knowledgeable in terms of being aware of fitness, but now how to go about it and achieve their goals, that's where there's a gap.
You know, I thought it's always been about the result. I mean, if I do something and then I see the result, I lose some weight, then I just want to believe it's actually working.
Absolutely. The biggest thing is seeing the results. You know, in fact, if there's something that really pushes me over the years, I've been in this industry now for close to 20 years, you know, so seeing people transform their lives, that's what keeps me going. And that's also what gets my clients excited, you know. So, but now, how do you get to that result? Is your structure working against you, or is it working to complement the already chaotic life you have? Are you a banker? Are you a lawyer? Do you have kids you have to raise? So these are the issues.
But what are the real dangers for Nigerians in this largely unregulated space?
Oh man, it's a lot, because right now you have people who are peddling false products, you have people who are peddling false supplements, you have people who are promoting a very extreme unhealthy style of nutrition approach, you know, and these have results that go past just your aesthetics. You know, they affect your health, they affect your hormones. You know, as a man, they affect your test levels. As a woman, they affect, you know, women have so much going on, you know. So it goes just beyond the looks, because in actuality, health and transformation starts from inward.
Absolutely. Have you had clients come to you after being harmed physically or even psychologically by extreme or unprofessional programs?
Oh, I get it all the time. I get it all the time. In fact, there's always this moment which I've almost come accustomed to embracing when I onboard a new client, they start telling me, oh, look, the previous experience they had, they almost maybe messed up their knees. You know, it led them to start having withdrawals and all types of symptoms, you know, and this is because in as much as we have, the space is growing, we have people who are unqualified, we have people who are not professionals and experienced who are marketing themselves as such. And then, of course, we only have the public, you know, on the losing end of that spectrum, if I should say, you know. So I'm always excited when I can impact the lives of people positively. And yes, I do get those. They're like, Bobby, I've been with you right now for 8 weeks. It's a completely different experience.
So break it down for us, because it sounds like you're saying you don't need teas. And for instance, what do you tell an average Nigerian woman who's tried every other thing from teas to starvation diets, skipping meals, and still it isn't working?
This is what I would say. So my coaching approach is what I call the GBB method, right? That's goals, build, blueprint, right? So everybody shouldn't apply a copy and paste. What works for Tola would not work for Okwe. So people always have this obscure idea that they have to copy and paste, but it doesn't work that way. Really, it has to complement your structure. It has to complement your lifestyle. Now, when it even boils down to nutrition, nutrition is complex, and nobody is built the same way, you know. So I would say you have to get someone who is willing to not just to use you as a guinea pig, but instead understand your lifestyle, so that way they can condition or program something that works for you. That's what people get when they come to me, you know, because everything is tailored, everything is customized. And don't embrace quick fixes. It doesn't work that way. But if you do it right from the jump, you're going to get amazing results.
So I'm wondering how you strike that balance between ambition and realism, because I've checked your page and you're promising transformation in 12 weeks.
Absolutely.
Do you have to change your diet, or it's about going to the gym and exercising? How do you really achieve a significant and healthy weight loss?
To achieve, without saying too much or rambling, you really need, number one, a training program. You don't have to go to the gym if you don't have access to one. You need a nutrition plan, you need a proper mindset, and then you need accountability. Now, all those things on their own have to be customized to complement the already chaotic life you have, not work against it. So people tend to embrace things that work against their lifestyle. So when you can get these pillars, if I should call them, working for you, you get the results that you want. And that's where someone like me comes into play.
We're going to take a short break. But when we return, I want us to talk about what is really wrong in, you know, being big. Now, let me see your muscle. I mean, that's a lot, you know. I mean, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, what is really wrong in, what is wrong in staying the way you are? I mean, maybe not too big a tummy. Or there are people who naturally are on the big side. And then we've also seen some people who lost weight drastically, and then in a few months down the line, they got it back. But that'll be right after this break. Stay with us, everyone. Nutrition and fitness coach Bobby Ranta is my guest on the show today as we focus on fitness and wellness on the Friday edition of Beyond the Headlines. Thank you so much for staying the course on the program. Let us talk about the cultural pressure, right? So there are men who love their ladies on the big side, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, because figure is a big thing in Africa, and I think we have our women are endowed like that.
Yeah.
Have we been able to draw the line between that societal pressure where everyone thinks you're big, and then when you look into the mirror, you don't like the figure you see, and when it begins to bother on health challenges? How do you know, that thin line between joining that gang, that gym gang pressure, and then you're putting so much pressure on yourself, perhaps it's not even needed for you, health-wise?
What I would say is, first of all, everyone has different goals. So in as much as, yes, the average African woman, wants to be endowed, and then the average African man is obsessed, with wanting a particular type of look. But it doesn't cut cross-board. Everybody has their own peculiar goals. But what I would say is this: the moment you begin to realize that this so-called healthy lifestyle or pursuits that you're making are beginning to consume you in totality, you don't have time for your family, you're beginning to find yourself the only thing that's on your mind 24/7. You're getting consumed with how you look. Then I would say it's no longer healthy. Now you're beginning to dive into a realm which I have to admit I've been there before, and it's not a good path to go on, and you can't get yourself out of it. There's something that comes with when you start getting the results of something. You become completely obsessed with it, which is good, but then there should be a level in which you can balance it with lifestyle, with your social life, with family. So I think establishing that balance is very key.
Indeed.
It is.
Before you disappear, well, fitness journeys are as mental as they are physical. So how do people stay motivated and consistent? Because we've seen people who have achieved a lot of significant results. I bought a treadmill in the house some months ago, jumped on it consistently for like a week. I can't remember the last time I got back to it. How do people stay consistent with these programs?
If I should give the biggest tip before I run, that would be, don't try to do too much too soon. Take a slow process. Of course, the biggest thing would be get someone who's a professional to guide you. But then even if you can't access that treadmill, for example, why do you have to do 2 hours every day? Why do you have to do an hour every day? Start with just 20 minutes. In fact, if you don't have access to a treadmill, just take 10-minute walks, morning and evening. On average, a 10-minute walk will give you about 1,000 steps. Just being mindful of your daily steps alone can completely transform your health. So it's really about, don't do too much too soon. I know we all want the results quickly, but even my clients that make tremendous transformations in 12 weeks, because they do, we don't jump the gun. From the jump, it complements the lifestyle, really. So slow and steady wins the race.
When we look at the issue of nutrition, a lot of Nigerians still believe that you need supplements. You talked about waist trainers earlier, but most of our foods are full of carbs and oils. So I'm wondering what you eat to keep all these muscles.
Oh, trust me, I do eat our African foods. I love them. But I try to establish a balance, and I'll tell you this. Our average local foods are not bad. It's how you prepare them. It's how you make them. And the thing about achieving someone that looks like myself, they'll tell you discipline goes into it. But then again, what keeps you going for long? You have to make those habits sustainable. That's why people get the results they want, but then in 2-3 months, they gain all the weight back. So one thing I always like to preach is, there's a process to getting what you want, but then there's a different process to make it sustainable, because it has to complement your lifestyle. You can have pizza once a week. You can have egusi that's soaked in oil, but you have to make sure it complements your lifestyle. So I'm not saying have these foods every day, but once every while, it's fine. Food is one of the pleasures of life, I would say. But then when you're someone who you're mindful, and remember when I spoke about that balance, you make sure that everything works in synergy. Then I promise you, if you lose 10 kg, if you lose 20 kg, a year from now, you could still hold on to that result.
Absolutely. So I'm just wondering precisely, perhaps you can break it down for us. Someone who leaves work by 11 p.m., drives like 45.
First of all, who leaves work at 11 p.m.?
We all do. This is TVC News. I'm on the news at 10, for instance. I don't leave here until 11 p.m.
Oh, wow.
And then you drive for another 45, 50 minutes. And then you still get home and you get home to a bowl of swallow. And then perhaps you go to bed like 30 or 40 minutes after. What kind of lifestyle adjustment does that kind of a person need?
Quick fixes. First of all, do you leave work? When do you jet out to the office? What time do you leave?
I will be later in the afternoon, thereabout.
So say you have the first 5-6 hours to yourself at home. Now that time, if you're very intentional, is good enough to just get 30-minute workout in. But now you have to be intentional about it. So that's already checked, right? So now when you get to office, you could tell yourself every 2 hours, I'm going to consciously take a 5-minute walk. Every time I pick up a phone call, I'm going to walk. I'm not going to sit down. And then when it comes to nutrition, the biggest part of it all, you have to do what we call meal prep. Meal prep means come Sunday, you're going to make your meals for the next 3-4 nights.
How do you mean?
So you bulk prepare them. Because the reality is this, when you get home and you don't have that meal that you're supposed to eat that complements what you're trying to achieve, chances are you're going to be forced to go to Global, you're going to be forced to order out, you're going to be forced to have maybe what the kids are having, and you're not supposed to have that. If you're having that meal once every couple of days, that's fine. But then when you're doing it habitually, now that's where the problem lies. So you have to meal prep. So meal prep means prepare your meals. I'll tell you now for a fact, every client that comes on board my program who's married or they have a significant other, I always tell them, look, you're not the only one in this process. It's both of you, because your spouse is the one that's really going to complement you. When I'm not there to keep you accountable, although I'm going to be there 99% of the time, they are the other link that's missing. Because chances are that bowl of soup, your wife or your husband prepared it before you got home. But when they are aware of the goals that you're trying to achieve, they would know, in this efforiro, should I use 3 spoons of palm oil? Should I use just 1 tablespoon? How should they saute the vegetables? What's the portion size of the amala or the pounded yam? So these little things like this, when you do them for 30 days, you'll be surprised.
What's that one big motivation that you think everyone must have in their fitness journey?
You don't need motivation. And I know this sounds cliche, but if you're going down 30, you're getting to your 40s, you're getting to your 50s, even if you're still in your 20s, you don't need motivation. Because I'm sure for a fact, if you go outside, you're going to see people who they are battling chronic health conditions. You're going to see people who maybe they've made so much money in their younger years, but they can't even enjoy the wealth they've been able to make. So what motivation do you need to tell yourself, look, I need to keep my health in check? Like I said, the aesthetics is amazing. It looks good. You get recognition from people that you admire and desire. But then even deeper than that, your health.
Do you think, we have to go now, do you think government or even fitness professionals should begin to push for more regulation in this industry? For instance, certifications, product regulations, or ethical standards?
Absolutely, 100% without a doubt. The Nigerian atmosphere is plagued with all manners of false products, not just in the health and fitness industry, but even when we look at the cosmetics industry as well. And those things have direct repercussions to your health as well. So definitely I feel we don't just need the bodies or the agencies, but we need them empowered. That's really the Nigerian issue. Some of these agencies are there. At times you don't even know they're there until you ask. But then you get there, you realize they're not funded properly. You realize the people that have been put there have no idea what their job description is about.
All right. We have to go now. Perhaps we'll continue this conversation subsequently. Certified nutrition fitness coach Bobby Ranta.
Can I say one more thing though?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this one is exclusive to the ladies, right? I have a challenge coming up, a group challenge in September. You know, and like I said, this is just exclusively to the ladies. Ladies who are trying to get snatched. That's the word we like to use now, meaning you're trying to burn your fat, but at the same time, you're trying to grow your curves. So I'm having a challenge that's coming up mid-September. It's going to be amazing, and it's going to be for just 12 weeks.
All right.
So this is your chance to achieve tremendous transformation in just 12 weeks.
Good place to leave it, Bob. Thank you so much for coming. And that's our show today, everyone. I hope that you get inspired to lose some weight, or at least keep fit over the weekend. You can watch it again at midnight and 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Do have a great weekend.